Okay, so we're looking at simplifying fractions here. So any sort of fraction question, you have to always check your final answer to see if it can be simplified. And you do this by using factors of the numerator and denominator. They've got to be common factors. So we're looking at this, and both of them end in a 5. So let's go for dividing by 5, because any multiple of 5 will end in a 5. So that's a nice simple one to start off with. Divide top and bottom by 5, and if you divide 15 by 5, you get 3. And if you divide 45 by 5, you get 9. Now, if you're not sure of your 5 times table, then, or any times table, please don't worry about writing down the multiples, but do it very carefully so you don't miss any out. And then once they're there, you've actually got them to use for another question if you need to, or like here you've got the top and bottom to do, numerator and denominator to do. So you write down until you get to the number that you need. So 45 is the last number we need. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. So you need a quick count, quick check. Okay, but let's look at this. You've got 3 and 9. So hopefully you spot that 3 and 9 are both in the same times table. They are both in the 3 times table. So let's divide by 3 and divide by 3 again. Now the big rule here is you must do the same to the top as you do to the bottom. 3 divided by 1, that means how many 3's go into 3. So 3 divided by 3, meaning how many 3's go into 3, gives you 1. 3's into 9, or 9 divided by 3 is 3. Okay, but there was actually a simpler way of doing this as well. Now, they look very keen in maths exams of dealing with 15 times tables. So if you spot this one, actually, you could have divided straight away by 15. Okay, if you know your 15 times table, it's always worth knowing your 15 times table. It's quite a nice one to learn. You don't need to go very far, but let's write it down to the side. 15 plus 15 is 30, plus another 15 is 45. So there's a challenge for you to learn your 15 times table. So how many 15's go into 15? 1. How many 15's go into 45? Or 45 divided by 15? 3. So we've got exactly the same answer as we did with the other method, which is what I would have expected. So we've got another question for you to do here, which is a little bit more involved. So 48 over 132. Now, if you've got big numbers, do not panic. Okay, it's just a case of thinking where to start. And these are both even numbers ending in a 0, okay, a 2, a 4, a 6, or an 8. Okay, they're all even numbers. Okay, so if they're even, then you can divide by 2. So let's do that. Let's have 2's into 48, or 48 divided by 2, or half of 48. Half of 48 is 24. Now, if you don't know this straight away, half of 132, so you're getting to big numbers here. Do not ever be worried about drawing out a bus stop method. So let's do that down here. 132. Okay, we can halve it by dividing by 2. 2's into 132. So 2's into 1 don't go. So we can put a 0 if you want to. We can lose it afterwards in our final answer. And we haven't used that 1, so we're going to carry the 1 over. And then we've got 2's into 13. 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12. There's 6 2's in 13. But again, we haven't used all of the number. 2 6's are 12. We had 13. There's 1 left over. This is a different one than the one before. It's another leftover from the 13. Okay? Don't get confused by the same number being on there. 2's into 12. Okay, goes 6. So we've got 66. Okay, we've just halved 132. We've got 66. That was 132 divided by 2 is 66. Now, look at that again. They are both even. Again, ends in a 4, ends in a 6. So we could do exactly the same process. Again, divide by 2. So this is a step-by-step, quite a slow method, but it's slow and secure. And So 24 divided by 2 was half of 24. In other words, it's 12. What's half of 66? It's 33. So we've done the same to the top as we've done to the bottom. Absolute golden rule when we simplify fractions. And you look at this very carefully. You might think you're finished. You've got an even number here, okay, but you've got an odd number here. So you certainly cannot be dividing both of them by 2. But actually, if you look carefully, this is in the 3 times table and this is in the 3 times table. 33 is actually only in the 33 times table, the 1 times table, and the 11 and the 3 times table. This is not in the 11 times table, so we can get rid of 11. We have to therefore divide by 3. So the common factor there is 3. If we divide by 3, 33 divided by 3, hopefully you all know your 11 times table, okay, but it's 11. And 12 divided by 3, again, you could write your 3 times table out if you need to, absolutely fine, it's 4. You might think, oh, 10 threes are 30, so therefore 11 threes are 33. So here's our final answer, 4 over 11, because 11 is prime. We cannot divide that by anything else other than 1 and 11, and that doesn't get us anywhere. And 4 certainly doesn't divide by 11. So we're finished. Let me just show you another way of doing this one, though, because that was quite a long route there, and the more steps you do, the more danger you've got of making a mistake along the way. So let's do the first step the same again, because actually that dividing by 2 option is quite sensible, because that 132 is quite big and you might not spot anything else straight away. So divide by 2, we've got the 24 and the 66 again. Now this 66 hopefully will ring alarm bells for you, and you're thinking, I can divide that. 6 goes into that and 11 goes into that. But actually 11 will not go into 24 because 2 11s are 22. So 6, let's divide by 6, because actually 24 is also in the 6 times table. Hopefully you will recognize that as 6 times table. So divide by 6 on the bottom and you get 11. Divide 24 by 6 if you're not sure. Again, that top tip, 6, 12. Use your fingers to count on if you need to. 18, 24. We can do a little adding 6 as you go. So it's 1, 2, 3, 4, just as we expected. 4 11ths once again. So if you look, we've got 2 different ways of getting there, and we've got the same answer for both methods. So simplifying fractions, always look out if you can simplify your fraction at the end of your question.